elders of Umuodike had started to notice changes too. The land felt uneasy. The nights carried strange stillness. The drums sometimes missed their rhythm. The village priest warned that the spirits were restless, but Obiajulu dismissed such warnings. To him, fear was weakness, and hesitation was defeat. He believed that if a man stood firm long enough, the world would bend. But the world had already begun to shift. One evening, as the sun dipped low and shadows stretched across the red earth, strangers appeared at the edge of Umuodike. Their clothes unfamiliar, their language strange. They did not come with drums. They did not come with weapons raised. They came with calm voices and confident steps.
The strangers did not receive a warm welcome in Umuodike. The moment they stepped into the village square, the drums began to beat loudly. Men gathered from every corner of the village. Young warriors rushed forward, gripping their spears tightly. Suspicion filled the air like smoke. To the people of Umuodike, strangers rarely meant peace. Foreign footsteps often carried trouble behind them, and these men looked nothing like the people of the land. Their skin was pale, their clothes strange, their language unfamiliar. Angry voices began to rise among the villagers. Some demanded the strangers leave immediately. Others warned that allowing them to stay could bring danger to the village. A few of the younger warriors stepped forward, ready to drive them away by force. The tension grew quickly. One wrong movement could have turned the moment into violence. But the leader of the strangers remained calm. He stepped forward slowly and raised both hands into the air. His name was Thomas Harrington. Through a translator who stood beside him, he spoke gently to the villagers. He said they had not come to fight. They had come to teach. They had come to share knowledge. He spoke of a new way of living, a world where strength was not measured by war or fear, a world where people could learn to read, learn to build, and learn to think differently. The villagers listened with mixed emotions. Some scoffed at his words, others looked curious, but most simply watched in silence. Among those watching was Nana. He stood quietly at the edge of the crowd, observing the strangers carefully. Unlike many of the young men, he did not grip a spear. He did not shout. He simply listened. And something about the calm confidence of the strangers made him curious. Not convinced, but curious. Chief Obiajulu stood near the front of the gathering. His face was hard as stone. To him, the strangers' calm words felt like deception. In his experience, men who spoke softly often carried the most dangerous intentions. He believed the village should send them away before their presence brought trouble. But the elders of Umuodike believed in patience. They had seen many seasons. They knew that quick anger could destroy wisdom. After a long discussion beneath the great Iroko tree, the elders made a cautious decision. The strangers would be allowed to stay, but only under watch. They would build their shelter at the edge of the village, and they would respect the customs of Umuodike. For a while, the villagers kept their distance. Children stared at the strangers from afar. Women whispered about them in the marketplaces. Young warriors watched them carefully as they passed. But the strangers did not behave like enemies. They helped repair broken tools. They offered medicine to the sick. They spoke kindly to those who approached them. Slowly, suspicion began to soften. Curiosity grew stronger, and curiosity can be more powerful than fear. Nana visited the strangers often.
Good day. We mean no harm. We only want to help.
You repair our tools, but why did you come to our land?
He listened as they spoke about distant lands, about books filled with knowledge, about a world larger than the boundaries of Umuodike. For Nana, their words opened a window to something new. But for Obiajulu, each visit his son made to the strangers felt like a betrayal. One evening, as the red sun sank behind the hills, Obiajulu confronted his son.
You dare shame me before the village? Strongest man in Umuodike. Father! I only went to greet them.
To Obiajulu, strength was the only path to survival, and he feared that the influence of the strangers would make his son weak. Nana tried to explain that learning was not weakness, that understanding the world did not mean abandoning tradition. But Obiajulu did not listen. In his heart, fear had already taken root. Fear that the traditions he fought so hard to defend were beginning to slip away. From the doorway of their compound, Adeze watched the exchange quietly. She saw the anger in her husband's eyes and the calm determination in her son's voice. Two generations standing on different sides of change. Adeze felt the tension building like thunder in the distance. The village did not yet see it clearly, but the ground beneath Umuodike had begun to shift. Because the strangers had not come only to teach, they had come with a vision that would slowly challenge every tradition the village had known. And while the people of Umuodike believed they were welcoming guests, they did not realize that a quiet transformation had already begun. One that would test families, divide the village, and force every man, woman, and child to choose a side. The storm Adeze had sensed was no longer far away. It had already arrived, and soon, Umuodike would discover that some changes cannot be stopped once they begin.